Thank you, Pranima. And on behalf of the Coalition for the Homeless, thank you, Robin Hood. Good morning. It's an honor to be here today. I'm so proud to be a case manager at the Coalition for the Homeless. I'm lucky. I love what I do. Every day, I help hardworking New Yorkers try to find homes they deserve or keep the homes that they have. There are parents and people with jobs, yet they still can't afford a decent place to live in our city. Instead, they're crowding into homeless shelters. Men, women, and children, tens of thousands of children without homes. I know this because I work with those parents. I know this because I used to be one of those parents. 5 years ago, my kids and I were living in a shelter. I know from my own experience and from the people we help at the Coalition that there are many ways into homelessness. For one thing, there's simply not enough affordable homes. And for many of us, are just one emergency away from losing the home we have. For some, it's doctor's bills. For others, it's losing a job. For me, and for many women I encounter, it's getting away from an abusive husband. I stayed with that husband for 15 years, in large part because, and this may sound strange, I knew from experience how hard it is to lose your home. And I didn't want my children to have to go through that too. I grew up in a family of 7, where even the smallest mistake, breaking a dish, speaking too loudly, asking the wrong question, meant a beating. I ran away as a teenager and lived in foster group homes around this city. It was a better alternative for sure, but it wasn't easy. I didn't miss the beatings, but I did miss my home. And I really missed my younger brothers and sisters. When I was 17, I met a man who seemed kind and protective, and I looked for all kinds of warning signs, taking my time to make sure that he wouldn't be an abuser. All I wanted was a happy family with a husband who'd be a great father. He started hitting me in the 7th month of my first pregnancy. By that point, I was living with him in an apartment in Boerum Hill in Brooklyn. We ultimately had 4 kids, Ciara, who's 18, Annabella, who's 17, which, by the way, they're here with me today, and twins, Tristan and Anya, who are 8. My children are everything to me. I'm sad to say that they witnessed terrible things. I often thought of leaving, but I couldn't bear to take them away from their home and the neighborhood that they loved. I kept hoping it would get better. And then I got a call from my children's school. Someone spoke to Annabella's 5th grade class about domestic violence. Annabella started to cry, and they pulled her aside. She told the teacher that she was afraid that her father was going to kill me. The school connected me with a counselor who helped me find the courage to leave. One day, I told my husband that I was going out for groceries with the kids, but I was actually leaving. The counselor was waiting in a black car to take all 5 of us to a shelter on the Upper West Side. We had the clothes on our back and our most important papers, nothing else. The shelter was such a shock for us. We were relieved to be free from my husband's rage, but we missed our home in Boerum Hill. A shelter, it's not a home. Just as we settled in, my husband tracked my phone's GPS and attacked me in the lobby. So we had to move to another shelter. I'll be forever grateful to those shelters, but it was so hard on the kids. They had to change schools, they missed their friends and their belongings, but we did not give up. The day I got keys to our railroad apartment in Queens was truly one of the most best days of my life. It wasn't a palace. There were mice and roaches and lead paint. But for the first time in my life, I had a home where I set the terms. All my money went to rent and food. So in the beginning, we slept on the floor. But still, it wasn't the shelter, and my kids didn't have to fear for my safety. Around the same time, I got accepted into a job training program at the Coalition for the Homeless. I learned computer skills and so much more. People at the Coalition asked me what I wanted from life. I had never even considered that question. I was busy surviving. They had me write essays laying out my goals. The Coalition taught me that I had real choices in life. A new me emerged. I felt strong and confident, and I realized that I wanted to help others. What I wanted more than anything was to help the Coalition help people like me. I was so happy when my internship with the Coalition turned into a full-time job. I focused on getting homes for working people and families. I negotiated subsidized rent for apartments and taught them how to budget monthly expenses. Most importantly, I wanted to help them feel what I felt. I had a home, safe and secure. You could imagine my panic 1 year later when my landlady said she was going to raise my rent by $500 a month. Ridgewood is an up-and-coming neighborhood with lots of new cafes and restaurants. I loved it, but I did the math again and again, and there was no way I could afford it. When I told her, she took me to housing court to get me evicted. I was terrified that we would end up back in the shelter. My children had already lost so much, and now they will lose another home. I didn't want to worry them, but they would hear me crying in the middle of the night. It's a story I hear from parents at the Coalition all the time. Like I now try to do for others, the Coalition helped me find a 2-bedroom apartment in Bed-Stuy, where we've been for 3 years. Again, it's no palace. I sleep in the living room with my twins so that each of my older daughters can have their own small rooms. But our rent is manageable, $960 a month. Still, there isn't a day that passes that my kids don't worry about us losing our home. They ask, "Did you pay rent, Mommy? Is everything okay?" My oldest, Sierra, never wants me to buy her anything. Not even underwears and shoes. She runs around after everyone, turning off the lights to keep our electric bills down. I'm sorry that they have to worry like that. But I'm also proud that they know I spend my days at the Coalition trying to help families like ours, kids like them. I know the power of the Coalition's efforts, the efforts Robin Hood supports. Not only did you help us find a home, something every family needs, you helped us move forward. Sierra, when she's not turning off the lights, it's busy studying because she's the first person in our family to go to college. Yeah, we are breaking the cycle. She won't have the struggles I had. So, Robin Hood, I thank you for this award on behalf of myself and for my children. And I thank you on behalf of the parents, children, and individuals for whom the coalition is the only hope. I'll see them at work today. Thank you very much.